Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new here. I am Martina Lily, and I think it was almost a year ago that I got my husband to come into my makeup collection and pick out 10 eyeshadow palettes just randomly. I had no idea what he was picking, and then I sat down on camera with you guys and said whether or not I would repurchase the palette that he picked, or all 10 of the palettes that he picked. So I thought it would be fun. My collection's changed quite a lot since then, and I thought it would be fun to do it again. So hopefully that sounds interesting to you guys. If it does, go ahead and do the YouTubey things, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it. So Shane has come in and he has picked out 10 palettes of his personal choosing, and I'm going to tell you guys each one. I'm going to show you it, tell you whether or not I would repurchase it, and if the reasons why I would or wouldn't. And it's just a bit of makeup fun. I'm pretty sure Emily's makeup bag was the first one to do this video, so I'm fairly certain, so I'm going to tag her down below. I will also have all the palettes linked down below for you guys as well. There will be affiliate links, so if you shop through them, thank you so much. The first one that he picked, now you'll sense a bit of a theme. My husband likes a more softer, neutral-ish type palette, if you will, or a pinky type palette. So you might sense a little bit of a theme here. And then sometimes he just goes for packaging. But the first one that he chose was this little Clé de Peau quad. Now this is the one in Seagrass, right here. And I have done maybe only one look on my channel with this, but I have done a couple of looks in like my everyday life when I'm not filming with this. And I did film one video where I did like a soft grunge look using this, and I really liked the look, but just the video I was like, it really wasn't my top quality, and so I didn't edit it or put it up. But would I repurchase this very expensive quad? Because I want to say it cost me maybe 125 Australian dollars for this quad, maybe. I know they were expensive. Anyway, putting you out of your misery, I 110% would repurchase this quad again. I would repurchase, I got another color story as well, which I can never remember the name of. Star something, I think. Anyway, I would repurchase both of them, to the point where I actually would love to pick up more color stories of this particular quad formula from Clé de Peau, because truly this quality is next level. It's next level. And they talk about how they've got skincare infused in this formula, and I really agree. Whether or not it does anything, I don't know, but in terms of how the skincare has enhanced the formula, it is exceptional, like truly exceptional, especially if you are someone that loves a luxury formula. Like, keep in mind, the luxury formulas are more around a softer like formula, softer pigment, a softer metallic, more like a satin. Really, really good for mature lids, really, really good for soft, easy, fuss-free kind of looks. It's not aimed at like your Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath Labs like indie eyeshadow type formula where it's like intense pigment and metallic and sparkle. It's just very soft, and I love both types of formulas. Like, I think there's an occasion for both of them, and I think Clé de Peau has got to be, I reckon, nearly my favorite luxury eyeshadow formula I've tried. Palette number 2, none of this is in order, by the way. He's just stacked them in a little box here for me. Palette number 2 is the Dior Quint in Soft Cashmere, which I have done maybe 1 or 2 videos, I think, of this quint on my channel, and it was because of you guys that I actually picked this quint up in the first place, because I used the YSL Storadolls, and the comment section of that video is basically like, you need to get Dior Soft Cashmere as well. And also agree, this is such an exceptional little quint. I would hands down repurchase this instantly. I think it is absolutely beautiful. The formula is so delightful, so soft, the perfect mix of like a satin. You can wet a couple of like this one and this one. You can kind of like wet them or use like the Pat McGrath Labs Intensify stick, and it will amp the metallic up a little bit, but they really are. This is like the only matte formula in here. These are more of a softer satin, and then these more of like they're a more intense metallic than like these, but they are not an intense metallic in any way. Again, really well suited to mature lids, or just someone that wants to be able to do one and dones, throw it on, not really have to worry about how it turns out. You know, if you're in a rush, you want something small. Oh, it's beautiful, and the color story is just delightful. This next one is really interesting to me. So this is the Flower Beauty Swan Ballet palette, and you guys have never actually seen this palette on my channel, and I have never actually used this palette on anything at all, period. I actually got sent this in PR. I got sent like a whole box of Flower Nose Beauty, and when I got it, I didn't super vibe with a lot of the products, just wasn't really my aesthetic. But they sent me like the whole Swan collection or Swan Ballet collection, and there was like 3 or 4 eyeshadow palettes. I actually have it in a box, I think, to like give away or something. But this one I did want to keep. I will try this eventually at some point. Let me know if you guys want to see this in a video. But Shane picked it out and he was like, I love the look of this. It's absolutely beautiful. He loves a softer, pinkier look, if you will. And when I opened this and he was like showing me what he liked about it, I was like, actually, yeah, this is a really pretty palette, especially these 2 shades right here. So would I repurchase this? I've got to be honest and say, even though I haven't, now it might be a different story when I've personally tried the formula. I might fall head over heels in love with it, and then it might be a different story. But I will be honest and say I never would have purchased this in the first place if it wasn't sent to me in PR. It's just, I'd never really heard of Flower Nose. I don't even know where you can purchase it from, really. And this wouldn't have been something that was like unique enough for me to personally pick up. However, extreme caveat, I have not tried this formula, and there's been plenty of a palette or a formula that I have picked up on, especially like the request of you guys wanting to see it, and been so blown away with it that it's like made me enthralled with the product. So that could be the case with this because I haven't tried it, but as of not trying it and did not getting it in PR, I wouldn't repurchase it based on that. This one, so this is number 4. I cannot wait for like the whole world to be able to get their hands on one of these because they're amazing. This is the Urban Decay Moon Dust palette. Sorry, I have Space Rider. I got this because a friend of ours went to America and they were so cute. They went around to all the Sephoras to pick up my wish list of makeup, bless them. So this is it right here. Space Cowboy right here, the Moon Dust. So these come in singles as well. Space Cowboy is like the real famous one from like the talks and everything. And I've done a video where I've actually like shown this palette, but I was also wearing Space Cowboy in the video the other week. Oh gosh, what was it? I think it was my gift guide, actually, sorry. I was wearing Space Cowboy. So this one right here is Space Cowboy. And I love this little quad. It is so good. Urban Decay needs to follow more of this trend with their products. They need to kind of ditch the naked and they need to go down this kind of way because this is exceptional. Like the shadow quality is so beautiful, and it is like, the way I would describe this is, if you don't like Pat McGrath Labs special shades because they're or like indie, like Cleona, for example, that kind of a thing, because they have too much fallout and they're just a bit too intense for you. Maybe you have mature lids, or it's just, you know, you just want something a bit softer but still sparkly. This is the formula for you. So even if you can't get your hands on like this, like quad, for example, you can get these shadows in singles still, like all around the world, like at Mecca or like Cult Beauty or whatever. They're probably, well, actually the sales are probably finished by the time this is going on. But yeah, this is absolutely stunning. It's just such a wearable, sparkly, like shifty formula. When you get it in that low lighting, oh, it's fire. Like it's really nice. And the bases of these are kind of like transparentish. Oh, it's impeccable. Like I 100% would repurchase this over and over again. Number 5, Shane has picked the Charlotte Tilbury Beautyverse palette. So this is Charlotte's holiday palette. And I mainly picked this up, well, no, I was going to say I mainly picked this up for review. But if I'm honest with you guys, I quite liked the color story, and if I'm really, really honest, it was mainly these 2 shades, which I know is a joke because I have these shades over and over again, but I gotta be honest, you know, I do have a dedicated video of this palette on my channel already, so if you want to see it, check it out. I'll try and create a playlist of these 10 palettes if I've got videos on them for you. Now, the quality of this particular palette is really lovely. This matte formula, Charlotte needs to put this matte formula in every single one of her palettes. It's a step above whatever she's got in her other palettes, really. It really is such a high quality matte formula. These shadows here, very pretty. Like they really, really are. They're kind of like in between the Urban Decay Moon Dust, and like a Pat special shade, if you will, where they've just got a little bit of grit to them. They're not like a super smooth formula, they just, yeah, they have a bit of grit to them. They have a little bit more fallout to them than, say, the Urban Decay Moon Dust formula, but they don't have as much intensity as what like a special shade from Pat would have, but they have more fallout as well. I don't know if that makes sense. So overall, would I actually repurchase this knowing what I know now? I actually wouldn't. I would not repurchase this, purely because knowing what I know now and comparing this to the rest of my collection, I probably won't get a lot of use out of this. I really won't. So knowing that, these formulas here, while pretty, are not like my preferred, and these mattes, while really high quality, I also have just as high, if not better quality in other palettes. So yeah, I don't think I would repurchase this one. Number 6. This is an eyeshadow palette, but also a face palette. It is the Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette. So you can tell he likes a more neutralish palette, right? So this is it here. And would I repurchase this now? Ooh, that is a good question. Because if you asked me this pre like other palettes, like if you asked me this around about the time that it came out, like last year, I think it did come out, or whenever it came out, I'd be like, oh my God, yes, of course. But I gotta be honest, I don't know if I would repurchase this as of right now, having the collection I have. Because I love these, don't get me wrong. I love the eyeshadows and I really like the highlight, but I do not like this blush formula. I would much prefer that she had put this in like one of the mini eyeshadow palettes that she has. And then yeah, I would repurchase it. But even then, like these metallics, oh, they're so good. They're just an intense wet looking type metallic. Come on, focus. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. So they're absolutely beautiful, but in saying that, like Natasha has really upped her metallic formula even since here. Yeah, I don't actually know. Knowing what I know now, having the eyeshadow collection that I have, given the fact that yes, this is a beautiful kind of quint of eyeshadows, and yes, I like this highlighter, but I don't need to repurchase this in my collection. Next up, number 7. Natasha Denona Eyed in the Nude. See, he has a type. So I feel like if you have watched my channel at all since getting this palette, you know exactly what the answer is, and I'm just going to say it. Yes, I would repurchase this 10 million times over. This is honestly one of my all-time favorite palettes, truly. I love it. And so when I was thinking about this one, the Glam Face palette, for example, this one right here, I instantly was thinking of this palette and going, I don't need that one anymore because I have this one. And these metallics are even a better quality, has a bigger shade variety, and I love everything about it. Like there is not one thing I do not love about this palette. Yes, I understand that this doesn't translate across all deeper skin tones very well, but I'm being incredibly selfish and saying for my skin tone it's amazing, and I would instantly repurchase this, like instantly repurchase it. I freaking love it. So yes. This one is an instant repurchase. Number 8. I think I've only done a short of this palette on my channel. I should include it in a video. This is the Fluorescence palette. I don't actually know the name because it has, I think it's Chinese writing on the back, sorry, and so I can't read that. But this is the palette here. I've swatched it and I actually use this quite a bit off camera, like for work and stuff. Would I repurchase this? I actually would. In fact, I've even been interested in trying some of their newer releases and picking them up. I was not expecting this brand to be high quality. It is absolutely beautiful, like the lipstick bullets and everything, like everything about this brand is like some of the most beautiful makeup you have ever laid your eyes on, truly. But because of that, I really wasn't expecting it to actually be very good quality. But it totally has surprised me, this brand. Like, it's actually really, really good. Like, I wouldn't say the metallics are anything like crazy special, but again, like mature lid friendly, very easy to use, still absolutely stunning, like really great for like an everyday makeup wearer. The mattes are gorgeous. The mattes truly just like blend themselves. They're absolutely beautiful. More pigmented than a luxury formula, for sure. Like I would liken them more to like a Natasha Denona type formula. Absolutely beautiful, like really creamy and lovely. Like I don't think I've tried a product from this brand yet that I haven't liked from Florasis. And I know when I was talking about this, I think when I did my full face of like using this makeup in a short or something, I know in the comments you guys were like, oh my god, I've been using Florasis for ages, it's amazing. So I actually would repurchase it. I did get it in PR, I should say, but I would repurchase it. Number 9, is it an eyeshadow palette video on this channel if there isn't some level of Pat McGrath Labs? No, it's not. So Shane picked Bronze Seduction, and he actually purchased this mothership for me. He actually purchased most of my motherships for me, FYI. And this is his personal favorite. And I actually, VR Fire Opal, this one right here, it's actually my favorite special shade still to this day in the entire Pat collection. She needs to release this in a single for me. Would I repurchase this? Yeah, I would, purely for this shade, if I'm honest. If this shade was not my hands down favorite special shade in the whole Pat collection, I don't think I would, unless she has updated her formula for these 6 in like the new ones, because these 6 here are really not great quality, at least in my palette. And I know whenever I talk about that, quite a few of you guys comment in the comments saying that yours isn't great quality either. If you've picked it up recently, like as in like the last few months, can you let us know in the comments like what your formula of these 6 is like? I'd be interested to know. These 4 are just some of the best special shades in the entire Pat collection. So it's not those special shades that that don't have the formula, it's just these 6, which this is such an expensive palette to buy for like just those 4. So yeah, if she had improved these 6, yes, absolutely, instant repurchase. Palette number 10 that Shane has picked out is the Minka palette from Adept Cosmetics. I picked this up earlier in the year with the Arrow inspired palette from them, and I had actually wanted this for a really long time. And their shipping is crazy to Australia. So my beautiful friend Melina actually shipped it to me. I actually need to use this palette in December because this is one of the best holiday palettes if you like a glittery type formula. This is one of the best like holiday palettes you can possibly get your hands on, because these are like cream proper glitter eyeshadows. Like it's quite an intense, almost like chunky formula. Not these two are a bit smoother, but the rest are quite intense. And for that, like if you have mature lids, I don't personally think you will like this palette. I think it'll be too texturizing on the lids, because it's not that it's texturizing on my lids, but it's just really heavy and thick feeling on the lids. But I will say it is absolutely stunning, and like to swatch and look at, it's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And I can see this being a lot of people's like absolutely favorite palettes, because it really is one of the most unique formulas I've ever tried. But would I repurchase it? No, I actually wouldn't, even though I love swatching it and looking at it. It's just not quite the formula for me. Like, I don't even know if you can tell, just trying to wipe it off, I've literally got glitter everywhere, and that drives me nuts. I do like a bit of glitter, but not the kind of glitter that gets into every nook and cranny and just never leaves for 7,000 years. That drives me nuts. So that was all 10 eyeshadow palettes, and whether or not I would repurchase them. I think I had more did I have more repurchases? Let's actually see. I had 6 repurchases and 4 non-repurchases, if you will. So that's pretty decent, like 60%. I mean, I'm happy with that considering I have such a large makeup collection, you know. I'm definitely happier that like I have more that I would repurchase instead of less. But yeah, I mean, again, those 4 palettes that I have though, like, am I unhappy to have them? Do I regret picking them up? Absolutely not. I absolutely do not regret picking any of them up, but I just wouldn't repurchase them as all. Let me know your thoughts down below. What's a palette that maybe you wouldn't repurchase in your collection? What's like you regret picking up and you're like, I just would not repurchase this palette anymore? Let me know in the comments down below. You know I love chatting with you guys. If you're watching to this point, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you, and I hope you have the most amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye!